New Year. Want to make a quick video. No rush getting to this. Essentially, it's we're just doing our best to make sure things are cleared up. John brought some things to my attention, and I think we're getting there. It's just been amazing to see how we've done this. It's very similar to how I was with the Angels, where we tried a bunch of things, collected a bunch of information, and we started to narrow in after a couple of years. So we're getting in here to understand what to collect and what matters and what to put out there and what's going to have the greatest benefit. So essentially, anything in red is something that I either am responsible for or it's done. Okay, so you're going to see some of these things, like we have a two-way lower body component. If we have to slide an athlete on an 8-week or 12-week plan, we can do it. This lower body, we've used a non-axial plan. That's been done. That's been super helpful for a couple of the players who've had some back problems. Gonna get with Tyler and CJ, give them some programming experience on the youth side of things. Just kind of see how that goes. Maybe that's something we can trigger for teams, where coaches can run some basic conditioning for young kids. It's been on my mind. We'll streamline some of these. There's some of these programs that were open. We kind of use them as a sandbox to play with, and I'll probably archive a lot of these. This one here, we're done this guy, the 4-day. This one's really good because we can utilize it for in-season programming. I see some parts that can work well for an upper-level player because it's got full habits and only 2 lifts, as well as removing some of the habits for a younger player who doesn't want to get overwhelmed. So we got some options there. Excuse me. I've clicked over the dates here, so it's basically everything's completed. That calendar is good. All right, so now we have something that's a sandbox there. There's a few of these definitely need to be cleaned up to be able to focus on the calendars that are active. When we go down here, we got this great off-season plan, which is a double split. So I'll basically communicate, where we're at with that. It's for definitely more training age players. Got some open calendars that we have some players on that we keep evolving. So we got Mix and Sadler on that. That's not a completed calendar, so those checks are not on. These guys, there's still like some things that I got to do from the terms. So this one here, I'm not sure. This is a serious off-season one for developed players. I even think, when we got the position players, like I kind of want to open this up again and not say done and make it a term, because we may want to further out a double split routine for guys that really like to train a lot in season. And so I'm kind of toying with keeping that going. But for right now, I think we're good. It's going to take us to March. Excuse me. This one here, we got this 2A1. I think it's the same thing here. I'm going to keep term here, even though we've got a lot of guys covered for the off season on that plan if they want it with the double split. We got a catcher double split as well somewhere in there. We haven't built that one yet. I don't know if we've actually built the catcher double split yet. I think it's position player, pitcher. We got a catcher plan that keeps going. So those things are the potential to future build out. I haven't put the end dates here yet because I don't know when that will happen, but I know these ones are still existing and we got to continue those on. So there's some big wins there. So this is a done calendar. I'm gonna open up these a little bit and just kind of make sure that if we do build, we're gonna be able to be all set with it. So like program's done for off season. That part I know. So when we have those double splits for a 2-way. And for the pitchers up here, so that's still, I got that as a term. We might build that even further. I'm going to take that off so I'm not distracted. These guys are all done. These are completed. Okay, and I think We have a lot of guys on this. So for me, for some reason, sorry, we don't have those completed, but we basically have, the approval that we're getting the first weeks done, and we're good there. Um, so now, this one, it's completely done. Hockey's done. So if we got a baseball guy that plays hockey in the north, I want to appeal to some Canadians, which I am Canadian. We have it. We don't lose them. And then we have, let's just see, a bunch of these calendars done. The multi-position one, essentially what was happening there is that was formerly the Grays multi-position. We have that guy. We've even built out the calendars for ER and IR, and we'll probably have to do that for a lot of the other calendars when we start to window them in. That will be mostly new, but I'm going to do everything I can to copy and paste it over and kind of realign the formatting so that there's less work for any of you. And this one here, this was more SET. There's more for the ARM-based training and core integration essentially. So I just said, this one's really good because it will work well for high school players only seeking throwing arm performance stuff, and it's really scheduled well around pens, where this one's really for arm care and core function for multi-position. The Grays Harbor, this one's done. So the program here is complete, and I'm going to use it in the future as an alternate to our 6-day plan that's up here that's evolving. And just in case we have to have a different option, so that if there's a multiple players that are training in the same place, there's a little bit more variety between them, and it also gives us some sandbox options if we need to pull from it. So I'm going to keep that calendar open for now. But you're going to see a lot of these are checked off. So 3 in a row, we're pretty good. There's a term that I think we've actually completed this guy. So this one's done. So the same thing with the Cardinal Moonies. So the Cardinal Moonies, that team, we only had a few players do it. So it wasn't really a powerful first undertaking, but we were able to adapt additional plans that work for so many other travel teams with the 3-6 plan. And now there's basically 3 lifts, but it's a 6-day plan with a soft tissue care day out of it. So that's going to be super helpful. And I'm going to keep those open to make those changes for these guys here. So we got the term there, and I can handle that, making those updates, just sticking to the dates when they arrive, so I don't go crazy right away. So those are open calendars still on those. Lycoming's handled by Tim. He's doing great, so we're getting that stuff all ironed out. Just want to make sure we check all those things off, that they're being updated. Crown, Johnny's been doing his stuff there. We're all good there. And then I got a tennis plan for older people. Really just want something multidisciplinary for shoulder, hip, and core. It's a 12-week program. I got it there in case I run into people in my community want something, and I can train them up on it, and they can do it by bands and test them. Catchers one, I'm building this term, which is more of like a supplemental program outside of lifting, so that one's still going. And then these are just some housekeeping stuff that I'm going to add for Erin. She's going to update phone numbers. There's going to be some more things because she's now the player services coordinator, so she's going to do update phone numbers. She's going to do notifications and SMS for players. We got to definitely get her to look at activity and completion reports. So I've been noticing there's a lot of players that are paying, but they're not inputting their data. And I think, I don't want to get to the point where they're doing stuff or not doing stuff and we're not aware. CJ's been trimming videos, so we got a lot more of those to onboard in this year. The individual clients, they're all going strong. They're kind of, they're kind of never completed unless we finish with them. And then I usually hide them. So I want to make sure they're approved until the calendars finish. And now that I got John's on there and taking a look and keeping us reminded of all these dates, we're going to be rocking and rolling for all of them. So outside of that, guys, we're doing great, and I got a lot of big plans for 2026. You guys are definitely on my mind for those, and I hope you guys are doing well. That's for sure. Thanks, guys.